Welcome back to myfoodchannel.com. I'm Camera Girl. Buck is behind the camera following orders. We are staying at a place where we're watching some chickens. We're house sitting and pet sitting. So I've been experimenting with some egg recipes. And today we're going to whip up an Italian egg bake. It's quick, it's easy, and it's delicious. So the only special equipment you need for an Italian bake are individual size ramekins that can go in the oven. If you don't have them, check out your thrift stores, although they're not that expensive, or we'll have a couple of links. You can tailor each one to individual tastes. If you had 4 people and you know this one is gluten-free or this one doesn't like spicy but this one does, you can make each one individual or make them make their own because they are that simple. They're so simple that I'm going to make the side first, which is a very simple side that you can dip in the yolk. Oh yeah. So we've got some frozen broccoli for 2 people. Great for dipping in egg yolk. Just going to add just a little bit of water. And I've got just a little bit of red pepper, onion, and a little bit of green pepper just to add some color. You don't have to, but I'm just going to add this. And you notice I've diced it up so that it'll cook very quickly in the microwave. And I'm going to wait to add my seasoning until it's cooked for just a little bit. And you could put cellophane if you want to on top, but I'm just going to put another bowl. So we're just going to give it, let's say 3 minutes to just get started. And that way when we add the seasonings, it can soak into the broccoli. While that's started, let's get the actual egg bakes. Now, if you have a cooking spray, that works. But if you don't, I mean, you really just need, that might even be too much. You're just looking for enough oil to keep everything from sticking. But you just want to rub it on the sides and the bottom so that you can actually get your eggy goodness out once it's cooked. I'm just going to add just a tablespoon, if that much, of some sort of little creamy, on the bottom.
So you're using almond milk, but sometimes you use half and half. You can use regular milk, any kind of dairy type thing.
You can use, yeah, exactly. You're just adding a little bit of cream. Now, if you want, you could crack the egg right this second, but I'm going to add a little bit of extra nutrition. So I've got just a little bit of summer squash. Just going to stick that on the bottom. And this is just a little bit of red bell pepper, got some different antioxidants. And I just love onion. So
any kind of finely chopped fresh veggies or herbs that you like?
Exactly. Now you just got to practice cracking an egg. And again, we've got, fresh eggs. Ooh, I didn't break the yolk. I didn't break the yolk. Watch out for little pieces of shell. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of Italian seasoning. Again, this is where you add what feels right to you. This has a little bit of heat, which we like. Although you can always add salt and pepper when it's finished. I like to add just a little bit of pepper and salt while it's cooking, just a pinch. And that's right, I'm adding some more. Oh yeah. Adding some more green onion.
You got some veggies on the bottom and on the top.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to do any of the veggies, but it's a nice way to sneak in some nutrition. And we're going to be using a convection toaster oven, so we didn't have to preheat it. But we'll be sure to put in the instructions that if you're using a regular oven, you'll want to preheat it. I'm going to let it go for 7 minutes. And again, we're looking for cooked egg whites and runny yolks. So let's see what 7 minutes does. Generally, if you're cooking it in a regular oven that's preheated, it'll be about 10 minutes. So our broccoli's been going for 3 minutes. So it's not too hot, which is great. It sat for a second. Stir it around just a little bit. Oh, it's that beautiful green. Now I am going to add just a little bit of seasoning. I'm going to add some everything seasoning. We've become addicted to this lately. It has a little bit of garlic. Well, things you'd find on an everything bagel.
So you've got an awful lot of ingredients in this recipe, but you can really mix and match and add as little or as much as you like.
Yeah, exactly. The big thing is we're trying to have a little something we can dip in the runny yolk. We're going to put it back in the microwave for a little more cooking. Again, the spices can sort of get into the broccoli a little more because it's not so frozen. So we're going to let it go for another 5 minutes so it'll be ready about the same time that our egg bakes are.
Alrighty, you got all kinds of wizardry that you're getting going on while this stuff is finishing up.
But that's what's great, is you've got time to even do a little bit of presentation while your side and your main dish come together. So let's take a look. Okay, now you can see a little bit of the egg white is turning white, but it's not really all the way cooked. So even though we want a runny yolk, I'm going to put this in for a couple more minutes. And again, depending on your altitude, your ovens, it's going to be a little different.
So you're going to put it in for another 2 minutes, but this is kind of
Yes.
tricky, so you have to be careful here not to overcook it if you're looking for a runny yolk.
Yes. Now let's go check our microwave side. You want it to sit when it comes out of the microwave for a minute anyway, but I think, woo! Watch your glasses.
Steam, buddy.
Woo! It looks perfect. We don't like ours cooked to death. So I'm going to add just a little bit of vitamin B, which is...
Vitamin B? What are you talking about?
Well, it's nutritional yeast.
Nutritional yeast. So this is really going to be a super duper healthy dish, huh?
But also just a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
Oh, super duper healthy.
Just a little, because it has a nice tang, and even though we're not eating as much dairy.
Just a wee little bit of Parmesan adds great flavor.
It does, and as it turns out, this is an Italian blend.
That's right.
This is Asiago, Parmesan, and Romano.
So you've got this Italian sprinkles and the Parmesan. Is that what makes it an Italian egg bake?
Sure. So we've added some more goodness. We're covering up our broccoli. We're just going to let that sit while our eggs finish. The most tricky part is getting the eggs as cooked as you want them.
Without overcooking them.
Exactly. So for us, this is going to be perfect. The whites are done. See, it's starting to bubble. But the yolk still should have a little bit of give.
We want a nice runny yolk with sauce.
Yes. Get these on the plate. Of course, you'll remind folks that they're hot. Then let's get your dipping side. That also is going to sneak in some nutrition.
Well, these are giant florets of broccoli, so it's not very sneaky.
I guess it isn't.
Now, this is a dish you definitely want to eat hot.
What's great about not being camera girl, I get to taste it when it's warm, and let's see.
So you get some runny yolk there.
Yeah.
Broccoli needs a lot of help, and that is a lot of help.
Oh, you don't need a lot of help, but oh, creamy goodness. I know this is, sorry, Buck.
You're not a professional eater.
So you don't have to have hollandaise sauce. Look at that richness.
And that's key, I think, for this kind of egg bake, is you don't want to overdo it so that you end up with basically a boiled egg in a cup. You don't want that. Broccoli for breakfast, I don't know if that's my go-to veggie of choice. But when you season the broccoli just right, you have all this flavor, and then you egg it up, Camera Girl can give me broccoli for breakfast every day. But if you want to check this recipe out, you know, I have a link down below over to myfoodchannel.com. You can go over there and check out all our recipes. We got lots of egg videos coming up, probably, since we're house sitting with chickens. You know, if you want to check out our house sitting travel videos, I'll have a link down below to that. We'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.